Today, I'm joined by Greg Jeffries, a longtime affiliate marketer. I'm not going to tell you too much about him because he's going to tell you about himself here in just a second. But it's great to have a variety of guests on. Last week we had agency, somebody who specializes in agency. This week we have somebody who specializes in affiliate. And of course, the best part about having great guests like this is it means less work for me to do. So with that said, Greg, I'll toss it over to you. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can just kind of get into whatever it is you want to talk to about today.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's something you can do on your end to give me access to the presentation, but
Yep.
yeah, I guess the short version of it is grew up middle class. I went to art school, went to college, traditional route. Um, I was always kind of entrepreneurial, but didn't know how to be an entrepreneur. I just had a lot of ideas. Wasn't that many people in my family that were, ran a business and stuff. So I just kind of um, tinkered around all nights and weekends, going down the traditional route of like Googling make money online and stuff. Moved from Mississippi, lived there most of my life. Moved out to Austin, Texas, in the fall of 2010, and it felt like an eternity, but it only took a couple of years for me to like get some traction. And but man, I tried a bunch of stuff, and 2016 was about the year that things kind of changed for me, and that's when I started going to live events. I should have done that sooner, but there are a whole slew of reasons why I convinced myself I shouldn't be there. But I made up for it that year. Went to about four different live events and masterminds, and quit my last job, in December of 2016. And 2017 was my first six-figure year, and I've never made less than that since. So it's pretty cool. And I did it through affiliate marketing, mostly through SEO, which is kind of hard for a lot of paid traffic people to wrap their head around, because they're like, what? SEO, isn't that slow, hard, and expensive? And I'm like, well, not for me, because I didn't have a lot of money to work with. So I had to make it work a different way. So yeah, that's kind of the short
Origin
version.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was yeah, very painful and frustrating in the process, but yeah, like everything's relative. So looking back, it's like, wow, it actually really didn't take that long for me to get to where I'm at. And then what that created for myself, the kind of lifestyle ever since 2017 was, so probably 6 years of trial and effort and error and a lot of failure. Um, but ever since 2017, I haven't actually had to work if I didn't want to. But we're entrepreneurs; we always have ideas and stuff. So I just keep being curious and stuff. But the same stuff that got me to where was in 2017 still works today, and it worked before I figured it out, and yada yada yada. So, um, but yeah, that's what I'm going to kind of share. I'm going to share the simple version of that with you guys here today, because yeah, I mean, you can make this stuff as complex and elaborate as you want, but the fundamentals are usually pretty simple. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Did you have anything to add to that, or any questions?
Just
Or
that I'm a little bit envious because when I started, it was to get into affiliate marketing as well. And it did okay for me. And it was what like lit the spark, but it didn't ever go to the level that you have. Like I've never been able to live off of it. But it's
mm,
still probably my favorite part because it's like you can do it on so many different things. You can do it on things that you're interested in. And it's just, I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know why, but it always felt like the most fun aspect of internet marketing to me. So,
yeah. Well, before I dive in, I'll say this. So my second live event I went to, which at the time it was JV Zoo's Marketing Mayhem in Orlando, which was like a really fun event, and I wish they still did them, but I only went to that one from JV Zoo, and I met up with two other affiliate SEOs, Jeff Linney and Jeff Linney and Dan Brock, and
and they're
I'm
both
not like, yeah, they're both awesome, and they were making full time, semi passive income, just kind of they were where I wanted to be, And just in chatting with them, I kind of quickly sized them up, and I don't mean this in kind of any negative way or whatever, but I was like, wow, they don't know really as much as I knew, and I didn't know how much I knew until I talked to them. But the thing is, they had more results than me. And what I gathered from those conversations was they weren't so concerned about all the stuff they didn't know. They just took massive action on the few things they did know.
Yeah.
And then they got results. So I was like, oh, you don't do this, or this. And they're like, no. I'm like, but I remember the watch on Jeff Linney's wrist was more than I'd ever made in a month. And, like okay, like that was that was what, a March, I think, of 2016. And so that had I came back to Austin and really just put my head down and concentrated. I was getting some results, but I was like, you know what, I don't know the rest of the puzzle yet, but let me just concentrate on the the thing that is getting some results. Maybe if I beat myself up a lot over this phrase of like, work smarter, not harder. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not smart. And I was like, well, screw it. Like, maybe I'm not smart, or maybe I'm not as smart as these other people, but in the short term, let me just work harder. Let me just double down on, whatever. I may not
Yes.
be the smartest worker, but let me just 2x my effort. I know I can't 100x it, but let me 2x it and see what that does. And it worked out. So, yeah, you don't have to be the smartest. And turns out a lot of the people that you think are smarter aren't. Um, they're just doing different things. They know different information. That's it. So
Yeah.
we'll dive in. My goal for this is to give your audience my process, but catered to your audience, and give them something simple and action based that they can implement if they choose. This process works for anything, but a big hang up that a lot of people seem to have with information is like, well, can you use it for what I want to promote? And like, yes, I just said that. I said that in the beginning, but it's like, show me an example, because I want to see it. So, I'm not going to try to, you know, make people be creative and fill in the blanks and stuff. So I'm using Legiit. So just some of the things I've done or accomplished. So, this is an example here of me getting the ClickFunnels Dream Car Award, and I didn't just do that once. I did that repeatedly, and people have used these same strategies to achieve the same thing with these same strategies with that same program. So I would just wore a purple squirrel shirt, missed an opportunity, but that was intentional. But hey, got a compliment from Russell. He was like, that's a cool shirt. But but that's an opportunity. I was in front of probably 3,000 people in Florida, and that's plastered on these big screens. So cool. These are some results I've gotten. These are both ClickFunnels. This is the green ones, the old or the classic affiliate program, and this is the new one, 2.0. I'm over 5 figures now. So yeah, I mean, I, it's not it's a process that is repeatable. It's not like, oh, I did this once and like can't ever do it again, I got lucky. No, it's something that you can do over and over again. These are some faces you may or may not recognize. These are a bunch of dream car winner friends. They're all students of mine as
Spencer.
well. Yeah, Jacob Cares, very, very successful in Australia. Rachel Esley, Dan Frigo's getting back in the game to, promote ClickFunnels 2.0. So, there's, again, it's not just me. These are all friends of mine and stuff, and they have done the same things. These are just some of the results. This is a good friend of mine, Brian. This is share sell count. And Brian's more seasoned than me. This is really special screenshot for me, because he was in the game long before me, but he just kind of swallowed his pride and humbled himself to my process, and didn't try to add or take away any steps. He said, I just trusted you and did it exactly the way you said, and it worked. So there you go. These are a few other students. This is Tony. I think this is Groove Funnels screenshots and stuff. So and these are various screenshots of my own So, I mean, this is what I love about this process is it works for pretty much anything you want to promote. So I don't know about you, Chris, but I've noticed this pattern or habit of mine of like what attracts me about affiliate marketing, and it's not so much the money. I just kind of like the dashboards. I like to see activity in the dashboards. So like
Get you a nice little
these,
dopamine hit.
yeah, I like hitting refresh. I know, but whatever. That's me. So these screenshots are not to brag and like look at me. It's to show that it's possible. It's possible to do it in multiple programs, and I hope that it's inspiring, not intimidating. These are some of my student screenshots. So again, not just me. This is Calvin. This is he's made over
I know Calvin.
200. Yeah. So I mean, he's made over 200,000 last time I checked with just ClickFunnels. So again, it's not just me. He's doing the same thing with the same programs. So anyway, let's dive in. So this is how to pro, use our process toward and cater towards Legiit. So I boiled it down to be real simple because I just want to. It's simple to me, and I had to come up with a simple process and steps and ways of explaining it. So kind of boiled it down to these couple steps. So number one, identify a product. Step two, gather keywords. Step three, you generate websites and videos. Now this is even easier with AI tools. And then that content that you create is going to attract traffic. You point that traffic to offers, and then you collect commissions. So it's really simple. So step one, an example of Legiit, identify product. It's been around for a couple of years. It's a marketplace. This is a tool called SEMrush, the keyword magic tool, and I, I don't I don't want people to get so hung up on the tools. That's another thing. People are like, oh, if this tool stops working or whatever, or goes away or changes a feature, it's like the end of the world for most people. And I want people to understand the process and not get so hung up on the tool. So there's Ahrefs has a tool, there's keywordtool.io, it doesn't matter. But the only reason that I use these tools is to gather a list of long tail keywords. You can see here in the screenshot, Legiit doesn't have too many right now, but towards the end, I'll give you a workaround for that because that's what stops newbies. It's like, oh, there aren't that many keywords. Well, there weren't that many keywords that these keyword tools found either about a year ago for ChatGPT, but we know people were searching for it. So how do you get in front of that?
I also happen to know that we get much more branded search than that. So that tells you that there's a lot more out there that the tools don't pick up.
Exactly. There's always going to be a lagging indicator with these tools because they've got their own little proprietary scrapers, but they can't see what you can see inside your own analytics of your website and stuff. So you can see all the variants. So that's step two. Just gather keywords, and then from there we're going to generate website, or in this case, you can also do videos. There's also the shorts have kind of taken over in the realm of video land now. So YouTube Shorts, IG Reels, Facebook Shorts, TikToks, that's popular now. But don't get so hung up on the medium and the platform or whatever. There's just kind of two main directions, written or video content. And the reason I've got this boat here is I'll kind of highlight this in another section of the presentation. But basically, instead of trying to be, I call these long tail keywords or the pieces of content that you create around them hooks in the water. So you can either think of it as a lot of hooks or a big old net, like one of these commercial fishing boats. So we're just fishing for traffic basically, and targeted traffic that we then, all these people show up and raise their hand and say, hey, I'm looking for, in this case, Legiit. And then we point them to Legiit through our Legiit referral link. They came across one of our blog posts or our video. It's awesome. You should check it out. These are 3 reasons why I love Legiit. If you sign up through my link, I'll give you a bonus. Awesome. And then step 5, collect commissions and just rinse, lather, repeat. Really simple. Do you have anything to add to that, or is that pretty simple. Or
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions in regards to that?
No, I say keep going. If there's any questions, I'll
Okay,
grab you.
cool. Well, I'll let you know what's the structure. So next, I'd like to just briefly go over a couple of my philosophies, and then we'll end with one more example of how to implement this with Legit. So these are a couple of my philosophies because I had to think a couple of years ago, like if I gave you this step by step process, well, there's still a couple of things that set me apart from you that would make me successful over like the newbie. And what are those? And they're a collection of philosophies that I've sort of gathered and developed over the years from my own experience that they're in my brain, they're in my head based on my own unique experiences that other people don't have the benefit of you know knowing unless I tell them. So these are a couple of philosophies that I've gathered over the years to kind of help me just not think so much and also make more sense of the marketing landscape and stuff. So the first one is your true competition. This is like if people just get this, then this is probably the most important takeaway of this whole presentation. So we got your true competition, hooks in the water, zero resistance marketing, grocery store, and infinitely scalable. So I'm going to highlight each one, discuss it, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the first is your true competition. Really simple. I don't know how this came to me because I don't think I borrowed or stole it from anyone, but I I I just this is the first lesson in my training before I ever get into strategy and stuff. And I think this is the number one reason that stops most people, which they think I think school's responsible for this. They condition us to believe that everything's so competitive, and it's not. Like there's hardly any competition when it comes to doing anything in life and stuff. I think it's because like in school there's a much smaller pool of people in your classes generally, so you're like, well, there's only 7 people that can be on the such and such team, and I didn't make it, and yada yada yada. Well, when you get out into the world, there's like billions of people, and almost no one's doing the exact same thing as you. So this is kind of how it's broken down. And how this ties into affiliate marketing is like basically you might say, well, if a million people watch this presentation, then that means like that's my competition. And it's not true at all. So first, we've got the whole planet. There's billions of people. Just going one step to the right. These are the people. These are like all the people that are interested in just making money online. It's a very small amount. This is like all the Shopify people, all the SEOs, all the pay per click people, um, all the drop shippers, all the Kindle people, all of them. It's a very small amount of people because most people are trained to be employees and they want to be doctors and lawyers and other things. So there's actually not that many people that are like entrepreneurial minded. And keep going to the right, and you got people who are interested in those things that are actually like bold enough to even buy a course or go to a live event or whatever. It's this really small number of people. And then going farther to the right, those are the people that actually, let's just say they're interested in making money online. They're specifically interested in affiliate marketing. They go to a live event and they actually like maybe buy another course or like actually implement what they learned in that live training or whatever. And then you go, and these aren't even the people that are that good. Again, they're just like trying, they're trying to make it. And then all the way to the right, and this could probably keep going on and on and on, itty bitty, but you know, basically the point I'm trying to make is you get all the way to the right, and that's your true competition. These are the people that are specifically interested in like making money, affiliate marketing, specifically through SEO, using the specific process that I'm describing. They're using it to promote the exact offer that you are. It's really, really, really small, and it's not usually that competitive. I've found it's kind of collaborative because if we go back to these, let's see, these people over here, they're all my friends. Like we're all making money promoting the same thing everywhere. They've kind of gone their own directions and stuff, but we're not like, oh man, if Spencer makes 1 million, that means I can't make 1 million. No, like we're all winning the same award on the same stage, So there's plenty of money to go around. Um, and so that's true competition. Really, really simple. Probably one of my favorite things. Even I remember I shared this little 3-minute explanation of this at my friend Jacob Karas's mastermind in Australia in 2019, and he was like, "Man, that was like the most probably the his biggest takeaway from that whole mastermind." It was like that was the most powerful thing I think I've ever seen. So that felt good. But I can't remember how this came to me, but one day it did, and I think it's helped a lot of people. So the next is hooks in the water. Um, I don't know if I'll give the story behind this, but the essence of this is basically create lots of pieces of content. And you're seeing that more and more these days of other marketers. They're like, hey, it's basically just like work harder, but you don't have to work harder, but because we've got automations and systems and things like that. But like produce more content more rapidly. Alex Hormozy is famous for that. He's got a whole content team and spends millions of dollars a year, and it works. So the question I like to say is like, which requires more skill? The guy on the left, that has a fishing pole, he's probably expert. But at the end of the day, he's only going to come home with maybe a couple of fish. And the guy on the right, he's probably just got a GED, didn't finish high school, but somehow maybe worked hard, worked a little bit, bought a used fishing boat on credit or something, catches a crap ton of fish, lives probably a little more balanced life, but probably makes more money than this guy over here. But he's an expert. He's got his expensive fishing pole and he's trying to catch one or two fish. And if the goal is to catch fish and make money, um, then it just makes more sense. You can do that faster and simpler with a boat, and you don't have to. It doesn't require as much skill. So the point I'm trying to make in this philosophy in this couple of slides is, what's your goal? If it's like most people and what they say their goal is to just make money, make a lot of money, then figure out some simple ways to create targeted content, create it as quick as possible, and you can do this with this simple process. So basically, you want to make more money, make it faster and easier. Get a boat, build a system, basically, and yeah, you can do that with this process. It's really simple. So just think of all those keywords as like hooks in the water or like a big old net. So whereas maybe Chris uh, can speak a little bit to this or um, confirm this. It's like all the old or traditional affiliate SEO courses taught you to spend a lot of effort and money and time cherry picking one or two keywords, or let's just say a dozen or 100, and like crafting well written articles, and then like putting all this effort and energy to push backlinks to those websites to push them up in ranking, so that you could actually get the real data from analytics, because Google Keyword Planner tool didn't show you that. So, you know, again, these keyword tools are just a starting point. But to me, instead of cherry picking things like, let's just say ClickFunnels Review, Legit Review, that's what like every affiliate SEO courses teaches ever. I got to thinking, wait a second, what about the other 3,000 keywords? Like what what about those? So, you know, create content around those. And now you don't even have to be an expert or make spend a lot of money to hire a writer for those, because AI, just give it a keyword, just tell Chat GPT or something, write me a an engaging and awesome article about this keyword. Boom. Like in most cases, it can do it for you in like 2 minutes. So really cool stuff. So the next one's zero resistance marketing. I'm gonna kind of zip through this one, but um, how this came about was when ClickFunnels came out, they kind of compared themselves to uh, they- Infusionsoft and Lead Pages, and we're like, we're better. And there are all these comparison review blogs of like how they're better than this other tool. And just a kind of a little epiphany or different way of thinking I had was, since both of those programs have affiliate programs, I, I don't I don't really care which one they pick, So the philosophy behind zero resistance is, instead of saying, "Oh, you're searching for lead pages, you're considering this," um, you're in basically kind of like you're a dummy. This is a poor choice. Why don't you choose ClickFunnels instead? You can just give them both options and say like, hey, you came here for searching for lead pages. It's actually a really good tool. These are three reasons why it's good. If you choose to purchase it, here's my affiliate link. Maybe here's a bonus. And another tool you may want to also consider checking out is ClickFunnels. It does this, this, and this. So that's kind of the philosophy behind zero resistance marketing. It's like just trying to make your marketing as kind of slippery and as possible, and without having to like convince people or change their mind, because people do not like being wrong. So I just say, it's a simple process for just confirming their pre-existing beliefs about a product or service, and maybe give them another option to consider, but say, just basically you're kind of removing some friction.
I used
So
to do
that's
like I had an affiliate site where I would do it was like streaming services back when that was like a lucrative niche to be in. And on
mhm.
like the Hulu review page, I would recommend Hulu review as the best, actually Hulu as the best one. And then there'd be a
Mhm.
table of all the other ones. And then like on the Netflix review page, I would recommend Netflix as the best one. And there'd be a table with all the other ones. So like that way,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody was happy that way.
Right. And if you get paid based on whatever they choose, then I'm not so pushy. But I think people get so hung up on like, oh, I want to be awesome at ClickFunnels or affiliate. I want to make a lot of money. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't leave that other money on the table, because what if they choose lead pages
Yep.
and you're just like talking about how bad they are and how stupid they are for choosing it? They might choose that because you
Yeah.
talk to
I'm
them that
I'm
way,
willing to
like,
take their money
and
for
they don't
any
like you
product.
now. So exactly, 'cause so anyway, so very simple. And the third or the fourth one is the grocery store. This was kind of I learned this kind of early on from a guy that signed up under me in a particular offer, and he, like, I'd been a part of different various biz ops and MLMs already, but my what I interpreted from those opportunities was like, you got to be loyal to this one brand and stuff. And he was like, no, you don't. He Because he was in various business opportunities. I was like, wow, like, you're all over the place. You're doing all these different biz ops. And he was like, yeah, because if somebody tells me they're interested in, making money from home, and I only give them one choice, well, they may not like that choice. And the other option is no, I don't want to do this. So like, some examples are like supplements. Well, maybe they don't like supplements. They do want to make money from home. They don't want to sell supplements though. Maybe they don't want to sell the latest. They don't want to sell makeup. There are other options. So he kind of introduced me to this philosophy of kind of becoming the grocery store. Like, the grocery store is basically Amazon. It's a physical marketplace. So does the grocery store care if a brand that it sells goes out of business? Not really. They just swap it out with a competitor the next day. So that's a benefit of being an affiliate as opposed to the brand, because we can promote anything. So we're not just married to one product or service. So it gives a lot of freedom and flexibility. So really cool benefit of being an affiliate marketer as opposed to the brand. Um, so that's that. I'll just kind of, yeah, people can pause this and read these slides if they want. And then, all these things combined, it kind of rolls into this philosophy that I have called infinitely scalable. So, with reference to Toy Story there, but it's really simple. And you might say, well, it's not infinitely scalable. You can't make all this money. It's like, well, pretty much. Like there's not going to be unlimited people doing this, but there's so much opportunity, and you can't ever get it all. So it's basically unlimited for as many people that want to implement this as possible. So that's really exciting to me because I, what I've interpreted my whole life, especially when it comes to business and then making money online, is that there's this, in order to move products and get people to buy, we push scarcity. But if you look all around you, the universe reflects the opposite of that. Like there's abundance all around you. And it's nice to be able to communicate this in a process for making money, because I feel like within our tiny little niche of making money online in affiliate marketing with SEO, I think people just buy into this belief of like, well, there's none left for me. If so and so just made $1 million in this one opportunity, there's no more room for me. And it's not true at all. It's really, do you want to be on that stage? Cool. You can literally do the same thing for the same product and just be disciplined and consistent. May take some time, but you can and will get there too if you want it. Just don't give up. So this works for any product, any niche. It's infinite. So these are some philosophies to tack on to that simple strategy. And I know I'm telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to do it, because there's a billion different ways that you can implement this. So many different softwares, hosting solutions, domains, and all that stuff. But I just want you to understand the essence of it, which is the keyword is the starting point. So, and branded keywords is a great place to start. Honestly, you really don't have to go any deeper than that. And if the brand that you don't that you want to promote doesn't have a ton of keywords yet, just pick another one. Or you can do what I'm about to show you, because if you experience will show you where some of the up and coming opportunity is. So, like in the case of Chat GPT or something, or an up and coming brand that's similar to another brand, you might say, oh, well, this was just like the thing that happened 2 years ago. However, since this thing is new, obviously, if you look in the keyword tools, there aren't going to be any keywords that those tools have collected much, because there's a lagging indicator there with those tools. It may take you a couple months for them to catch up, but how you can position yourself to get in front of that giant wave is what I'm about to show you. So let's see. So going back to the Legiit example, what we're able to see is not very much in the keyword tools. So newbie affiliates and people on this presentation might say, well, great process, but I bought Ahrefs and looked at their keyword tool, or subscribed to SEMrush and use their keyword magic tool, and only see like 80 keywords. That's not very much. And it's not. So what do you do? How do you step in front of uh, a lot? How do you create a big net for yourself, or like create a whole lot more hooks? So this is how to do that. And you can't always do this, but in most cases you can. So this is an example when you can. So just think of what's a let's see. I think mine.
Oh, you were still good. We can't hear you now. You're muted, and I can't turn it back on for some reason.
There we go. How about now?
All right, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I had these headphones, and then someone was buzzing them on my phone, and I was like, "Oh, what's happening?" I thought I was losing sound, but yeah, real #real life, but whatever. But no, I was just gonna ask a question to get some engagement. What's another marketplace out there that's similar to Legiit, or that where you can sell services and stuff. Well, let's
There
make
aren't
it
any
engage.
that are similar. There aren't any that are similar.
That's true.
Do you want me to give you some?
I have one, but I mean, yeah, you just share.
All right, just go with the one that you want then, or that you have then.
Okay,
People are mostly
yeah.
just listening right now.
So basically, the angle of this is just you just want to identify. I don't really like the word competitor, but just different alternatives, different products and services that are similar to the one that you are trying to promote that probably have been around longer. I thought of Fiverr. It's been around for over a decade. Why do I like Fiverr for this example? Because it's got, well, again, been around for over a decade, which usually means there's a lot of people that have searched for variations of the brand keyword by now. And if we look at the keyword magic tool with SEMrush, there's close to 40,000 keywords. Awesome. So what we're going to do with those is we're going to just simply export that list and just do a simple find and replace. You can do that with a free text tool. You can do that with some online tools. And basically, so you're going to have all those Fiverr keywords, and you just do wherever there's a Fiverr keyword in those long tail keywords, you're just going to replace it with Legiit. And you might be thinking, well, there's like some of these thousands of keywords people aren't typing in specifically. They're probably typing in something very close to them, though. It's a marketplace. It's some of the services that are provided on Legiit are very similar, and so it's going to work. And you're basically just casting a huge net out there, which means you're going to catch more fish than you would if you just had content over and over again about these same 88 keywords you see here on the right. So you can apply this for so many different products and stuff, because there's always a new product coming out that's like hot and popular, but then you're like, man, I know people are searching for this because I see it all over social media, but the keyword tools aren't showing anything. How can I get in front of some of that traffic? So this is how to do that. So you basically become the fishing boat over there. And so in this case, people are searching for maybe Fiverr. And then this is an opportunity for you. Fiverr has a referral program too. You can be like, hey, Fiverr's awesome for this, this, and this. However, Legiit is amazing. These are the 7 reasons why. And if you join through my referral link today, I'm going to give you a list of my 20 best. I'm going to curate a list of my 20 best and favorite gigs of all time, or whatever. So something simple like that, and then boom, make money. So I won't read this word for word, but people can pause this and read that. But basically, everything I've just shown to you, we used to do it a little more Frankenstein, but man, AI has equipped us to do it faster, easier, and simpler, and much less expensive. And I know I'm not telling you and showing you exactly how to implement that, but honestly, I feel like your audience is pretty savvy. They probably already know half of what these tools are, or are familiar with ChatGPT. And so, yeah, that's basically the end of it. Just kind of, again, you can apply this to Legiit, and I like to end on, just kind of expand your mind and just reinforce the fact that this is infinitely scalable. You're not competing against anybody except yourself. So that is it. Like you just do this over and over consistently. And
saying something is saturated is usually just code for I'm too lazy to do it now because it takes harder work than it used to. Like when a new thing comes out, everybody does it and they think that it's really cool. And then somebody else gets really good at it and it stops working for them. And they're like, they just assume that it's saturated and doesn't work now. But what it really means is that in the beginning, any dumbass could do it, but then somebody else figured out how to do it really well. So nothing is ever saturated. It just might take a little more skill than it used to. Unless it's literally to where there's literally not one person. If there's literally not one person on earth doing it, then maybe it doesn't work anymore. But as long as there's one person doing it, somebody else can do it.
Exactly. And again, once you get more familiar with this process, it's not the process doesn't really change too much. How you implement it might, because tools change. That's why I don't want people get so hung up on like, well, I use this one tool and then it like they stop supporting it. Does this like it's kind of like the same as saying like my engine stopped working in my car. Cars don't work anymore. I guess we're gonna have to go back to horse and buggy. What?
Right.
No, you just fix it or get a different car. Like it's just one component to the whole automobile. You don't
That's a
just
great
like go
analogy.
throw all the cars in the ocean and be like, man, screw cars, horses and buggies. I guess we're walking. You know,
Well,
no.
that'd probably be good for us, considering most of us need the extra steps.
Yeah, but I hope that gave some value to people. You may have to go back and watch it again, and yeah, it's really simple. But I hope that your audience was able to take away some stuff, and I'm happy to answer any questions they may have.
Well, one thing I'm going to say is if you want to learn a little bit more about what Greg does, I'm going to put a link here in the chat where you can get some. And this is my affiliate link because, I mean, appropriately enough. But you can check that out too. That's Greg has a program that can go much more, I assume goes much more in depth on the stuff that you talked about and shows you actually how to do. Like you told them what to do, and that I should assume you should tell them how to do it. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I believe if they go to that link, it'll give them a longer presentation, walking them through several more examples. And I think that one's the one we created where, yeah, there's some custom. I think we give them the list of those Fiverr keywords and Legiit and stuff. So if they want to implement this process for Legiit specifically, they can do that. But yeah, you can go there, watch the presentation. It's free. Learn a little bit more about our process, and even if you want to learn that process and how to implement it, you can check out that training. And again, I just want to highlight and reinforce this. We teach one way to do it. We teach it through websites, but you can do this. When I made the course originally, TikTok wasn't even around, or well, it wasn't popular. I think it was in China, but it wasn't
Yeah, it's called
mainstream
Musically
yet.
back then.
Yeah. And so this, you can implement the same process with videos, and there's syndication tools out there like repurpose.io, which you can syndicate it to all the different video platforms. So like, but yeah, it, what I love about it, I came up with these like 3 S's. It's simple, scalable, sustainable. And like, I don't know about you, Chris, but like that's super refreshing and gives me peace now because like in our little make money online game, it's so no, it's just like a roller coaster of emotions of like, you got to get in, you got to get in now. You're missing out, scarcity, time's running out. And you're like, oh, am I late? Especially in SEO over the years, it's sort of like Google updated their algorithm. You got to get this new $20 plugin on Warrior Plus. It's like, oh my God, what's can someone just teach me the foundation so I don't have to like change? I can just like repeat those fundamentals. And you're going to get a lot of that inside this training to where, you can pick and choose to whether you want to incorporate XYZ plugin or whatever. But like, if you understand the underlying fundamentals, you really don't need a lot of tools. The most of the tools that you're going to be incorporating, especially if like you're like a one man or one
You're breaking up a little bit.
show. Okay, what about now?
I think you're good now.
Okay. Yeah. Most of the tools that you're going to,
No, you're good. Go.
okay. Yeah, that you're going to be using is just to streamline and automate what you know how to do manually, which is, so it's not like there's some kind of magical tool that's going to make you money forever and stuff.
All right. Well, let's take a couple of questions. I'm not sure if this one makes much sense for what you're doing, but any example you can share for a local business in one single city? It doesn't really apply, I don't think, to what we're talking about today.
Well, I'll address it. So I don't do client stuff, but it works the same. This works very, well. Long tail keywords work very well locally. So yeah, if you want to make videos or a blog post about a website for whatever dentist, lawyer, selling firewood or something near me, like just do whatever the long tail keyword is, plus the name of the city, state, zip, and all kind of variations of
Great. Ahmed
that.
says
Like
interesting
just do
keyword
that
research
over and over and
strategy.
over again. It's ridiculously interesting here.
Jacqueline says, what do you
I think I just
call consistent application? Would one new offering a week count?
I guess that's kind of two-part question. So you're probably going to have to test a couple different offers to kind of figure out what works best for you, or get a pulse of like the landscape. That's one thing that people, it kind of causes them to stop. They try this with one offer and they're consistent for a little bit and they say, I didn't get any results, this doesn't work. And I'm like, it does work. That offer just may kind of suck, or like it may be a good offer, but people just don't want it. And like, you just have to detach. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times the things that people want and buying, they're the things like, and Chris could probably speak to this too, they're things that I don't want them to buy, but that doesn't matter. Like they want to buy them, and so they sell. And so it's like, do you want to make money? Yeah. Do I want to sell this thing? Not really, but people are going crazy for it. So you're going to have to test a couple different offers, but then be consistent on creating content around those. So I would start with 3 different offers, maybe even make them different niche, maybe one in like the health niche, one in the make money online or software as a service niche, and some other niche. A couple different types of offers that I like that work really well with SEO, since it seems to take a little bit of effort to get traction, are offers that are evergreen, high ticket, and recurring. Those work the best.
Right. Robert says, I came in late. Are ultimately you're trying to rank websites and organic SERPs? Yes. Tayaba says, hey, Greg, love your style, love your presentation. I'd like to know where to learn more about your whole journey as an affiliate marketer and digital marketing strategist. So if people want to get in touch with you more, where would they go?
I guess you can give them a link to my Facebook or something. I've been posting a lot of crazy stuff on there lately. It's been a long journey. I don't know if you want to know all about that, but if you want to learn more about how to do this, then you can visit Chris's link to the presentation.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best place to go is.
Yeah. But if you want some wild and crazy stories and posts, you can follow me on Facebook.
Great. And just search him up on Facebook. Tabis says, this course about funnel marketing, or am I guessing it wrong? I haven't watched that presentation, but I'm super interested. I guess you can answer that then. And that's more about the whole process, right?
Yeah, it's more about the SEO process. Sure, you can use it to promote, funnels or ClickFunnels or whatever. But yeah.
Okay. Jacqueline says it's such a relaxed approach. I love it, Greg. You can see how you have fun with this. Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning, right? Like, I feel like affiliate marketing is the most fun of the different ways to make money online. That's just
once you get over the craziness and the hype, and but that was exhausting, and the emotional roller coaster. I was just like, I don't know. I just found my little sweet spot, like peace, and the craziness of it.
Becky says, where can you find high ticket affiliate offers and MRR affiliate offers? For those that don't know, MRR means monthly recurring revenue.
I don't have one answer for this. It's really just like pay attention, get out there, get your hands dirty, network. Go to live events. There are some directories out there that like Muncheye and stuff where you can see upcoming product launches, network and stuff. And a lot of the best offers out there, you're going to come across probably through word of mouth. And the other ones you can just go to affiliate networks and stuff. They have marketplaces full of these. So those are two places, like launch leaderboards or for the high ticket stuff. And then physical products work really well with this process. So physical products are on marketplaces like Shareasell, Reversion. There's plenty of marketplaces out there, but just those are a couple.
Okay. And if you were to go to Munchai right now, you would see the launch that I'm doing on Thursday as one of the options listed there, along with the offline sharks.
And so I want to just briefly touch on that too. Launch jacking,
Please don't do that
it's
with
something
mine. I said, please don't do that with mine.
Well, don't do that followed by the word scam and stuff. But and launch jacking is something that's worked for a long time. It still works, and it'll pretty much always work. So that's a thing that people, I think, have some success with. They make some money and then they grow out of, but it's not because it stops working. So yeah, if you want to just go to munchai.com and create content around all the launches, that's a great way to scale up to probably $3,000 to $5,000 a month consistently or more, in the next 90 days or something. And I want to give out this tip too. I don't know why more people don't do this, especially beginners, but do what you're doing for me right now, but for launches. Interview the product creators. There's only one guy that did this consistently, and he doesn't do it anymore. Mike from Maine.
I'm doing an interview with him tomorrow morning. That's why I knew that.
Okay. I guess he still does it, but yeah, he's like the only guy that I can remember out of the last decade that has done that consistently. It's like, bro, there's so much opportunity because you can create authority for yourself from nothing. Associate yourself with these product owners that are successful and stuff.
That's one of the reasons I do this.
Yeah, basically create your own little show. Just like there's late night TV shows. You think these actors go on that show to just entertain you? No, they're pushing movies. It's a marketing channel. They're working.
That make me David Letterman.
Yeah. or whichever one you want, Kimmel or one of the Jimmys. But yeah, there's so much opportunity for up and coming affiliates to just go. I mean, you got the list right there. You don't have to think. They tell you when the offers are coming. And some of these vendors, you might say, oh, this is a guy that makes millions of dollars. He would never come on my show. Yes, he would, because people love talking about themselves and they don't have any other platform or vehicle to do it outside of you. So there's nobody else saying, Lan, I want to interview you and give that would be the most powerful review, is to actually interview the product creator. That's why Mike does so well. He's very selective. He doesn't pick just anybody. He doesn't just interview anybody. He's very specific on the people that he chooses to promote. So yeah.
All right. I think that's going to be where we can wrap up for now. So let me just do this. So thank you for your time. I know that I found that very informative. I actually have an idea I'm going to implement from it. I'm not going to tell anybody what that is because but if you want to learn more about this, you should definitely check out Greg's course, and you should definitely consider affiliate marketing. It's so much fun. And it's what got me, we wouldn't be here today if I hadn't found out about affiliate marketing. It's what got me started. And it was, for me, I never managed to make it my main thing like Greg has. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to have him on. And I thought it'd be educational and entertaining. So I hope you found that. That's the best way to get people on your list, or otherwise attract an audience. That's kind of a whole webinar question in itself. And then there's one person asking how to get a hold of you, Tayaba. Just find him on Facebook. You follow me on Facebook, so you'll be able to find him through that. So again, thanks for your time. Anything else you want to leave us with?
No, yeah. If you want to reach out to me, I think I was tagged in a recent post that you made on Facebook, so you can find me there. And I'm actually just genuinely impressed that I was able to run through this in less than an hour. I was incredible.
Yeah, I thought it went really well, and we had really high retention, so I think people enjoyed it a lot. So thank you for that. To everyone else, I'll be back on Thursday with Randy Rohde, who does I think I pronounced that last name right, who does digital PR services. He's one of the better sellers on Legiit, and he's he's going to talk to us about digital PR. And on Thursday also, I'm launching my new product with Offline Sharks called Agency Arbitrage Mastery. So be on the lookout for that, because I will be relentless in telling you about it. And finally, I want to thank you all for spending some time here today. I know you could have been anywhere else in the world, and you took the time to spend it with us. That's something I'll never take for granted. So thank you for that. And last but not least, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the world. I'll see you again on Thursday. Peace.